They're really, really far ahead of Astralis on the map right now. And Astralis used to be good on it, don't get me wrong, but they have to rebuild it and reimagine themselves on it and figure some stuff out. But for the meantime, I'm sure they're looking forward to Dust 2. And yeah, it's a map they already showed they're very strong on already today. So let's see what they can do. 5 out long as they go for the approach, and they've attracted the attention of all of Vitality basically here on the A site.
Ooh, the lineup.
Yeah, and they're here to just straight up take the fight. This will be an interesting one.
I love Apex just turns around to make sure we're all in a line. Rally the troops. The general goes over top first and foremost. At least they used to in the good old days.
Yeah, Lucky has one flash. We'll see if he wants to use it. They do give up on the stack. There it is. A flash comes out. Ooh, and a punish.
Yeah. Kyojin able to connect one USP headshot. And then he's going to try to find like an awkward angle around these smokes. T's trying to jump over. He does get lucky. And the pop into Bubsky. That's a tap and a half. Kyojin in with another. That's 4 kills for Kyojin. Looking for the ace, looking to cut them down. Instead, he's chopped, but replaced by ZywOo. Vitality take first pistol.
I think it's a big enough win there for Dupree to get that kill, because that was almost too beautiful. What a round from Kyojin. That third kill was unreal. First on the punish, here on the shot, and if you missed it, look at that flick. Beautiful stuff. Bubsky out and down. That's also great tracking here on that jump across. And you gotta love the whole attack. And like, that's the kind of thing you can do on a pistol. You can't do it on a rifle because of the amount of utility, but standing out in the open like that, it's totally viable. Makes sense. You're trying to cut that down, cut that push down, and you know, make sure that nobody's comfortable just walking up long on you at any given moment.
So the second half of the game versus Liquid was when Lucky took to the T side on Dust 2, and that's when I feel like, you know, despite the kill count being high enough on the defense, it was the impact that he had in the second half that was really shining. Yeah,
because like his team failed to get rounds in that first half, so he was hitting his shots, but like you're saying, the impact wasn't exactly there, at least not palpably. But
ooh, really? The AUG goes down.
That's a oh man.
Best gun of the 5 that Vitality have to work with.
It's an AUG in the open as well. So immediately as I will go to protect it, Dupree punishes the cross. That is insane, right between the eyes. Masuda's out. AUG gets taken up, but this is kind of a bait, right? They go and try to recollect it, and now it's this mid squeeze. And look at the attack.
Oh my God! Of course he does.
Shox alone in the B site.
Just the Famas to work with. 2 players coming out, but they're disjointed. Bubsky runs around the corner before Dupree is really ready to trade, so Shox does a good job of cutting off the first and then damaging the second. Lucky remains in middle, floating with that scout, misses his chance at damage output, and ZywOo looks to join Kyojin on the fight into the B-bomb site. Kyojin cut as he tries to drop down from the window, and now ZywOo.
It's too good of a gun.
Yeah, tantalizing save. They call it quits. Astralis with the force buy, right back to winning ways.
That was nuts. I mean, that was such a fast shot from Dupree as well. With the deagle, sliver of an angle right between the eyelids.
Turned his forehead into a whistle.
Like that one. So we'll go back and save. And yeah, there's always a game with, you know, when you drop a gun, that's always consideration from both teams instantly. Where's that gun drop? And is it a bait to go back and get it? Will there be a squeeze immediately on another part of a map? And you cannot instantly think about just recollecting it. You have to think about all the rotations that are going to try to be punished. I mean, in a pug, the first thing you do is go back, get that gun, reset the round, because nobody responds quickly enough. But with the level of protocols that we have between these two teams, and the knowledge that they're in a setup ready to do a couple of things, you have to be very careful about even going back for something as simple as that.
Is it crazy, or am I crazy? That ZywOo gets that kill through smoke on like the 28th bullet of a 30-bullet spray.
Yeah, if it wasn't ZywOo, it would be crazy.
Does as he pleases. Pops up from pit, gets Dupree dead to rights behind Big Blue. And this is now Vitality trying to take back momentum when their buy was in question. Now, of course, it's the fact that the AUG is still in play, but the first kill comes from Kyojin. And then, like you said, right, those weapons, they instantly become the rope in a game of tug of war. Kyojin just wraps it up around his shoulder and gets going as fast as he can, but Masuda dies, and the USP peek from CT works well. Apex taking his time with the end of that magazine, but the counter-terrorists look to line them up here inside the B site. Xyp9x gonna be able to take away some pressure here. Bomb plant at the very least. Economy secured, but Zywoo still close on the retake. AUG up close, and now Kyojin's able to trade for both those kills. It's lucky backside to die. Kyojin defuse for Vitality. He's the one that started this round, he's the one that ended this round, and he takes a page out of Masuda's book as he collects himself a 3K.
And he's been at the helm of a couple of 1v2s, a few 1v2s, very impactful ones, along with Masuda in this tournament. So great to see him in the clutch. And these fast action sequences especially, I think, is where he shines the most. But yeah, some really great stuff. Oh, not even wasting too many bullets on that spray. Didn't even get to the crouch. You know, that's the confidence that kind of separates Kyojin, I think, a little bit from RPK in the sense of, like, you know, what's his mechanical ceiling, right? He's so sharp with it, so quick. And if he can learn how to be as composed as someone like RPK, then there's the idea that, you know, down the line, this could be a really nice long-term upgrade.
Yep.
Where we don't even know how good Kyojin can potentially get. I saw Haka talking about how he felt like Kyojin potentially had a higher skill ceiling than Masuda in the long run. Ooh. I'm not sure if I personally echo that sentiment, but I also haven't watched probably nearly as much in the investigation. I watched a couple of Kyojin's older demos and stuff like that. I was wowed by his scrims and stuff, but the only thing that had me off a bit was just I saw too much scream in it. You know what I mean? Like, okay. And when I see too much scream in it, I'm like, there's got to be something missing from the cerebral aspect, right? I'm very hesitant with the players who are a little bit too kind of sexy mechanically. Yeah. When I consider it, but it's possible to be everything. I mean, look at Zywoo himself right there beside him. He's got it all as well. So maybe there's something to it.
We get a refined scream down the road, maybe.
Yeah.
It's an interesting take. Haka's generally good for a decent opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, he's in the demos.
He's in the demos, man. He's in deep.
You know, back in the day on Dust 2, Doja and Get Right every single round would meet up at the long doors and literally just spray each other through the doors until someone died. That was the epitome of cerebral play in Counter-Strike. Yeah. And we go back and look at those VODs and think, God damn, I could have won a major back then. Sure. It was so simple back then. Yeah. That's just completely unacceptable behavior these days.
Then Astralis start throwing utility. Doja's like, this is what it takes?
You peek someone who hasn't been flashed 3 times, you're cut.
Retires.
Yeah.
Bubsky. Loves a good tunnels tuck, Bubsky does.
Yeah.
Always in here, man. Sometimes you'll see 4 players from Astralis executing fully onto the A site with like 10 seconds to spare in the round, and Bub's still just sitting in tunnels. But I've also seen him punish a push more than once or twice. Pistols all gathering together. Shox dodges the first flash, but eats the second. And then even Masuda gets hit by a third. Nice execute here from Astralis, but it's the gun of Shox that's good for 1 kill. That array of flashbangs. The first one kind of, you know, ignored. The second one hits the guy in the back, and then the third, oh my, it's
well, yeah, it's
nice.
like, it punishes what Shox, where he would normally avoid to on that first one. The timing's all great. You know, that Hummer flashes everything, and it's beautiful for all those close spots. I was looking at that setup, and I was thinking, this is a really, really strong setup for Vitality because, you know, if you do have the chance to go up against, like, pistols or any situation where a player is going to have to hold W for, like, 2 or 3 seconds in a row, it's good to come and swing out in front of them because, you know, you don't want to have to press backwards to stop and shoot, and you can't stop the train behind you. And sometimes you're going to get incidental damage from bullets in the back, so it's really strong to be able to, like, be right close to the tunnels like that. But you saw it with the flashes. They really just didn't have an option but to eat them. And they absolutely did not want to. So totally outplayed there. I mean, this is not around. This had nothing to do with luck and a low buy or anything like that.
Nope, just 3 beautiful flashbangs in a very nice sequence. Perfect for those exact positions. So this train, this runaway train that just held W into the B site is a back and forth affair. We're tied back yet again at 2. And this is going to be the great force war of the Blast Fall groups. Team Vitality back at it. MP9, Deagle for Shox. Not the best of buys, but still, you know, 3 rifles sprinkled within, and 3 players leaning towards B early on. Bubsky's looking to take an early contact. Compare this to the way he was tucked in last round. Now trying to play around with the timing on the execute. Again, the flashbangs are going to be a key piece to this hit. Apex back by Car, able to catch Dupree with his head turned. And they know Shoxy's over here, but Magis wants to trade on this Car player. Apex arriving big time. and he was a key piece to the early success on Vertigo. Oh, Lucky snaps down into him. Saw Shox jump onto the plat.
They want to molly big box or just clear it from the right. Let's see how they approach it.
Come on, can't. Oh, despite being blind. Shox with a Deke headshot, no flick for Lucky, and Vitality right back to winning ways. This is 5 consecutive rounds back and forth.
That is an incredibly important shot and a ridiculous one at that from Shox. If he doesn't get the kill, he's dead. They saw him jump there, and he didn't know they saw him. So as soon as he tucked his head down and that swing was coming out, there'd be no way for the window and door guys to even get in that. So you know, Lucky would have been out of the end of the tunnel, looking at the door, staring in the window, and definitely shutting down the rotation. So it's a game that comes down to the minutia. A couple of seconds there makes the difference. Vitality come out ahead. And they've been very liberal about the amount of tack pauses they've used early on just to go over things, and they're taking, you know, every step of the way very seriously here with their approach.
You want to see something gross?
Yeah,
Switch back to Zipix. Look, there's earwax stuck on his monitor.
On his monitor.
I'm not.
Okay.
All right. Production's like, no, I don't want to see it.
I know.
I'm just saying.
Not even production want to see it.
You guys aren't going to be able to not notice.
Okay.
It's gross, man.
All right.
Almost as nasty as your mouse pads.
Okay. Well, hopefully both are a choice.
Back at it again. All right, we're talking Force Wars. They continue. Guerrilla warfare for Astralis.
What,
they're going to try to bust their way out. Oh wow. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. This is no academy team. This is the big boys of Astralis. But Apex shuts down Lucky as he tries to extend out through that smoke. Man, that was a tough play to make with 3 CTs on the other side. And look at the way Vitality, 4. They were so layered upon one another, we couldn't even see the bodies. Oh man, and that's a thick nade.
Lays on him like a blanket.
One of those like 35-pound blankets.
Yes. But that's not making him feel secure at all. Anxiety levels couldn't be higher here on Cat as they get surrounded. They've got 4 stars in GTA. Everything but the helicopters at this point.
Military's gonna show up.
Time to turn on the cheats.
But there's no way to reduce this most wanted level. Vitality definitely not wanting to let Astralis slip away with a BO3 win. It's supposed to mean something to take a BO3 off of the likes of Vitality. Apex, nice timing, crawls up the catwalk, 3 kills, and almost the 4th one, but Magisk will be finished off by Kyojin. Team Vitality doing a really good job of crunching down on that, right? Just as quickly as Astralis tried to get onto long and then fall away, you know that Vitality just vacuumed right behind them, took all the power they could.
Absolutely. I think the very scariest teams are the ones who have mastered when to push through long. Because once you get out of the long doors, which is supposed it's not Halloween yet, Shox.
It's like the most dramatic.
He's got that scream mask face going on. Like his face is made of goo. It's so good, so good. Anybody who's figured out like how to push through the long doors, because there's lots of timings to do that. You know, if anything's going cat mid or B, you know, outside long is going to be a little weak. But turning that door around that corner is so difficult to figure out a timing for that. And like Vitality just did, anytime a team can figure out how to do that, that's when they're the scariest, absolute scariest on this map. So the idea is to always threaten it. You know, you maybe do it once or twice a half,
sure, but
make it feel like it's coming 5 times, so you're just killing time off the clock while people just hold and wait for your push over and over again.
There was a chance. He hit the damage, but not quite enough. Another good cat grenade as well. That was one of the nice pieces of that previous round's hold, when Astralis actually had tools to work with. In this case, they've got a sharpened rock and a pocket full of lint. And I'm not talking chocolates. Apex 2 kills, Pat in the stats. Off to a good start yet again. Ooh, okay, sorry, said his name. Was 10-5 with 3 kills on this one. Kyojin and Zywoo to close up shop. 5 rounds to the CT side of Vitality.
Have fun with it. He's got enough. He had a great Vertigo. He's had a great tournament so far. He's done fantastic. And again, I just want to say, like, stepped it up massively individually coming out of EPL, where they were already, like, clearly the second best team by a good margin. So it's a very scary Vitality. Looking forward to the major, looking forward to this last leg of the year. It's exciting for them.
Gonna try it again, huh? This time with guns. Kyojin. Oh my god! Up close versus Magisk, and then a second. Kyojin so primed for the third as well, on high alert because of that audio cue. He is mowing down this offensive from Astralis. Xyp9x, oh, his fourth victim. That's right, style points. Swap out to the D, and Kyojin takes them down.
Damn! Big money Kyojin with the ace in his anchor position here on long. He is cementing himself fully. It has been the rise of the rookies here at Blast. Looking very promising, of course. I have to say, nice support flashes from Apex in the back, but all the dirty work from this one angle off to the deagle like it's a scrim clip. That's right.
More. Apex calls for blood.
He's 15-2 off that.
Damn. You know, this was supposed to be Lucky's day. Killer Kyojin locks it down at pit. Now this T side's starting to lose a little bit of steam. Remember that fallen flick earlier today?
That was disgusting. Door hinge. That's the one you always go for.
Yep.
But people always do it too slowly. Like, he actually flicked that quickly because you have to. If you don't, you know, you're just going to instantly jump away. You're going to miss your timing. He did it as soon as he heard that click. And ever since, I mean, since that point, I'm sure Dupree was like, I'm not doing the door hinge smoke anymore.
Someone else can do it.
Someone else has to do it. We got newbies on this team, and I'm doing the door hinge smoke, risking my life.
As a 4-time major champion,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Stay from the back.
Yes. Underhand my smoke, Jeeves. Bubsky's on smoke duty this round. It's going to block off the CT spawn so that they can go for the mid to B crunch. Does Bubsky actually join the fray, or does he just sit around and try to cut off the rotates? Because there's another 4 terrorists looking to chop down this B site, and sure enough, Masuda, goes down empty shocks. Nice second kill into Magisk, and then these crisp headshots continue. He tries to dive into the cover. Bubsky's been tagged to 37 elsewhere, and sure enough, this one's swept under the rug. We've got Vitality on fire.
You just gotta like how he moves, and he's got some words for his team. That's an exciting one. Love how Shox moves around boxes and stuff like that. It's always so cool to watch. Got some of the coolest movement in the game for sure. And Masuda helped him with this clip, no doubt. Tons of damage on 2 of those players coming at him.
Man, these guys' water bottles are so much bigger than mine.
It's a power thing. Oh, some Chewy in there. Hate when that happens. Oh. Just chewing on the tea bag.
Yeah, you're supposed to leave that in there. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm new here. 15-2. Man of Dust 2 so far. 1/3 of those kills coming in a single gun round. By all means, Kyojin, if you want to put on a show, I am all for it. See if Vitality can extend this 5-round streak beyond. But of course, the buy is back in. ZywOo reveals that there's an op on an aggressive cat stance, and Shox then shows them a secondary sniper with Masuda on support. Great hold from Vitality. Kyojin gets aggressive, calls out that Xyp9x gonna try and play the smoke, and then he replenishes it as well. Just like that. Blink and you miss it. Minute 30, 5v2.
It's perfect. When you bring in that second op, you're supposed to just get that one free frag where they know there's an op on the map. They don't expect it in this position as well. Shox is that guy. He's got help on top of that, so he doesn't even die. Kyojin being, once again, a reliable long anchor, even stopping the lurk here. Not just good in the pure explosive rounds, even catching off a player like Xyp9x trying to come in through with a lurk. And we just haven't had to use ZywOo at all for Team Vitality right now. He's 5-1. He's doing good, but he's definitely not been the star of the show.
Interesting that Bubsky's actually managed to get all the way up outside of the B site.
Yeah. And
setup's ready for the peak.
it's super ready for it, so they don't need the help from A. This would just be, you know, a total failure from the B site. But Shox is fine from window.
Yep.
Masuda makes sure they can't even cross that way. The only way this works is if Masuda dies first, then Shox looks the other way, and then we can talk about a different round.
But Masuda doesn't die, and it goes perfectly. So the setup, 10 for 10. Vitality, easy hold, 8-2 the lead on the CT side. Yeah, there was a big ask of Astralis once they went down so quickly. But I mean, everything just kind of crumbled at the very, very start of that round. You know, Zai was shooting off that one shot. I feel like that's what really sells them into that secondary op setup.
Yeah, that's so important. That's so important. That's actually a huge thing, because it's like a gimmick for that moment where you bring in the second op, but it's a real piece of the map now. It's one that Astralis are going to be a lot more careful about, but it's already netted you the round you're looking for. So now it's a bigger threat, plus you're on this eco. They got what they wanted with that second op in play. And Shox has been hybriding a lot more, and he's been hella great with it. And if you're a brand new fan, you probably haven't seen Shox hybrid that often. This used to be a weapon he'd use easily. And this is something he's known for, just probably being, at the time, or for many years, the most versatile player in CSGO.
Yeah, it must be nice to just be good at, like, everything.
Yeah.
Ooh, Bobsky, though. That's something. And then Shox has his attention fully pulled over. But Lucky's not in a spot to really go for the mid-aggression. So these two B players that remain for Vitality, they don't have to worry about that mid-push. Eventually, it becomes a problem. And curiously enough, we do still have Xyp9x back in tunnels. So let's say Lucky drops down into CT, which is what looks like is about to happen. You can get this retake going. But dupreeh with his hands on an AK, this would be a bit of a robbery for Astralis, and honestly the kind of thing they need, because with Vitality on fire, with Vitality convincingly winning all of these rounds, you know, it's a nice little bolster of cash, and Lucky's in a really cool position. Executes the player up close and taps away at ZywOo with a saved op. This is free weapons. This is like that kickstart, okay, for Astralis. They've primed the chainsaw, and now it's running.
Yeah, and they did it off of this, obviously, insane shot from Bubsky. He has one chance to get that before Masuda starts dropping nades, before the flashes come in from outside the site. But at that moment, when he takes that first peek to guarantee some information, that's the one most vulnerable moment at the back of the site where everything can tumble like a house of cards. And Bubsky was there, ready to be clutch.
Just to make sure nothing of a retake happens, you know, when dupreeh curves that bullet outside window. Ooh, man, really? They think they can push this versus Kyojin? Well, they can, and they do. dupreeh spraying everybody that was ahead of him, Xyp9x included, but they got the job done. 4 versus 3. I say job done. Let's say job started.
Job started. Job not finished, but job definitely started. That's great. They got long control as well with the player advantage. It'd be hard-pressed to find a team this good flubbing it from this point, but we still have ZywOo up and alive. He just really hasn't been a part of the action recently.
Right. You said it, you know, we haven't really needed him yet because the other stars were shining. Well,
so the frailty of the setup, of course, when you take long control, why it's so good, Cat is not fun to hold. So there's not really a good response here from the CT side, because you don't have a player at mid to watch mid while you push Cat, and then you can't get any cool rotations coming out of it. So you're really just stuck in limbo here with the CT side. You don't have great spots, you're going to get flashed, you don't have anywhere to hide really, and they're not going to give you tons of easy shots. So you want to try to be a little bit aggressive. And actually, Bubsky allows him maybe back into the round, however, a really important punish, yeah.
Yep, ZywOo tries to confirm whether there's people over here, because we know Bubsky's good for a late B lurk.
Yeah, you called it. Yeah, he's always up there.
He's always up there, and in this case, he doesn't wait too long. He tries to get aggressive, just like Masuda did, almost able to turn around onto ramp, but now they know that Shox is down here.
Oh, Magix is dying. He's in the Molotov. He has to go for the replant.
Oof.
Oh, dupreeh will peek him.
dupreeh's got it all right? Yeah. dupreeh has it all. 4 kills for him in this one. Kills every 5 if you consider Xyp9x.
Mm-hmm.
Able to give that cover. This is the entry. Gets the guy on long, shoots Xyp9x in the back of the head, and then because of that flashbang from Magisk, Kyojin unable to get himself a second.
The idea there is sometimes that molly goes down, and then when you're setting up for long on the CT side, you'll smoke your own molly and then go into a setup. So right there, they found a time where they smoked the molly a little bit early with the flashes to go over, and they were specifically looking for that, for players to be looking directly into long. And of course, Kyojin could completely spray them down, but he was blind. Oh man, that's a Magisk peek if I've ever seen one.
He's going to try and keep this one rolling, but it's Apex off of the ramp. And Apex, not only good on Vertigo, Second most amount of kills here on Dust as well. But Lucky, well, he gets Apex off of this A site. With 2 kills on A, that's going to call Kyojin back from long, where he has been fantastic. And there's nobody on long to really punish the fact that he rotates over. And I like this. Yeah. Kyojin's not going to sit inside sight. He tries to get aggressive. He activates, and he gets the best of Lucky. That could have been a kill for Astralis, and therefore a 4v2. Instead, that risk pays off. We're right back to the even keel. And this duel last round, we didn't get to see it, but Bubsky eventually walked right into Shox' scope, easily offering over that frag. How do Astralis make something of this round with nothing but mid control at the moment?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, B is weaker just because there's no one at mid to camp it out, and now they'll see someone peeking off of Cats, but they just don't know exactly who. And I don't think there's any good way to figure that out just from being here. So they might just commit up with their grenades. They have an op to work with on Dupree. But we'll see how hefty of an execute they'll go with. That's what I'm actually most curious about here.
Oh, it's clean, but yeah, it goes 2 directions.
They go light, not to start any rotations. 1-for-1's not bad.
Trying to lock it in. Allows for them to cross elbow. He's planned to stop that bomb plant. A deep position from Dupree means this is just a straight-up 1v1. And Masuda with the element of surprise, catching Bubsky turn. Dupree's going to have to clutch this, and both his opponents on 100 HP. He's out, so it seems.
Yeah. They don't go off of it. Masuda's waiting for his teammate. They have the smoke to come down, and Dupree, I think at this point, just saves
it.
Yeah, he can't go out in front of that smoke in good conscience. And
or?
Oh, he's got a second smoke coming up.
He's playing around with it.
Yeah, they're taking their time here, so maybe try something crazy. I don't know.
Too late. Too late, my friend. Listen, I thought he was already conceding that one. He at least makes Vitality work a little harder. But with all the utility and such little health, he really was limited. This is a big pickup.
Yeah.
Magisk just holding W down catwalk, catching ZywOo, and then Lucky over the Molotov too. So
this was right between the legs.
Boom.
That was actually a moment where Kyojin, it's much safer to walk up the catwalk if they're throwing their setup smoke, because then you know that on that side of the smoke there can't be a gap, and then you can get up close and do that tricky thing where they flash by you and you wait. But it was still a decent adjustment there from Kyojin. Very fortunate to get the shot missed, and also picked up an extra kill as he fell back.
Well, only a couple more rounds to play out here in the first half of the third map of the final match in our first group of the Blast Fall season. It's a mouthful, and these players have been a handful all weekend long. But whose hands are going to get dirtier as this one comes to a close? We saw 2 clean kills coming in from Astralis on Cat last round. It was only Kyojin who slowed it down. And only a little bit of utility that made the difference between the retake and the bomb popping off. A, the intended target yet again. This time ZywOo not being caught in extension. Drops his own utility and slows this down. Let's see. Ooh, the fire went out. Fade away from this.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to try to drop in a CT, but they're trying to fake this Cat presence. Man, over top of the smoke. That's 2-0 for Magisk versus ZywOo. The punish from Lucky. Another important T-side kill here on the refrag.
And they're still rocking this boat back and forth. Masuda's inside of the smoke in the B tunnels. This is about to fade, and he's got Lucky up close, but he gets the first kill, and Xyp9x gives cover. Magisk late lurk on A site. Now it's on Apex. He turns back around and gets the kill at a distance, but it costs him 70 HP, and he peeks to his demise. Lucky, 2 crucial kills on the re-peaks versus Vitality to keep Astralis within striking distance.
All about that punish. When you are the opera on T side in that way, you rely on entry fraggers to create space, to bait attention, and you try to cover them on a position where the person peeking is not expecting. They're hearing footsteps, they're looking up for that target, and then boom, you're actually out a little bit wider than them, holding steady with your op. And the idea is to be composed, be that calm presence, just locking something down while that happens. Now we move into the last round. You got the auto snipers out to show off the opulence. Let them know that we've got a big advantage here. And ZywOo just has a scout. The upper B push comes through.
Oh, they line up. That could have been big. Cyclops ZywOo running in circles out middle. Come on, do it to him. ZywOo cracks his head like Fallen did. That'd be big. The 5-7 tries to snap. But instead, it's the neck of Vitality broken in half on long. There's the peek from ZywOo. Only him and Shox left to hold off in this 2v4. And dupreeh looking to seal the deal on this T side. A 6-9 T side from Astralis would be wonderful, but it's not over. Half the health, 3 more players to drop. ZywOo has a chance to re-aggress on Cat, where he's gonna hear that bomb running over. And the long cross goes down without killing him either. From 40 down to 16.
Someone's close.
Bomb has been planted.
We've learned our lessons. We know better than to write ZywOo off in situations like these. That computer brain of his crunching the numbers, calculating and deciding.
Oh, this is one risk of the round. He's not going to find anyone in pit. And then with the cat plant, it's going to be too much. There's not going to be a way to be able to pull this off. And he have to run back. And
Error.
Yeah. Error, yeah.
Access denied. Molotov lands on bomb, and that one's going to spell disaster for Vitality. Run, my friend, run. This one comes to a close, and Astralis rocking the boat back. That is 4 of the last 5 rounds in this opening half. Can they take this the distance? Can they get the edge over Vitality? Well, we'll be back in a bit to find out.
I always look at them as the comeback kings. You can never count them out, no matter how bad it looks.
We have a tendency to forget how much it means to the players. The money is one thing, but the trophies and winning tournaments with this caliber, it's just what the players play for.
I think we're writing the first chapter of a long book.
I think there is a lot of pressure on me as a coach because we have been winning a lot the past couple of years. And it's extremely tough to be number 1.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not even about winning, it's about making a statement. It's about showing to everyone that you are still dangerous. It's just a Astralis way of playing Counter-Strike.
What inspired me to become a coach in Counter-Strike was that I finally faced that I couldn't continue playing myself because I was simply too bad. On a serious note, I think it was my love of the game. Actually, I've always been this secondary caller when I was playing. Sometimes I tried in game leading as well, but I always had this love for playing beautiful Counter-Strike the right way, playing the percentages, good utility. I think that's the most beautiful part of the game. I'm not a particular fan of let's say ZywOo killing 5 people with a P250, but for me, beautiful Counter-Strike is high level of team play, flashing for each other, and good Molotovs. I think that's what for me is what Counter-Strike is all about. It's about that team play, and I think it's the right way to be played. I think I do a lot of things as a coach. It's a role that has a lot of job titles. Obviously, there are the whole strategic side of things. I need to make sure that our playbook is strong and that we have a lot of things that we can turn to if things are not working out in matches. I prepare against our opponents. I look at our matches afterwards. I theory craft. I look at some new nades that we can throw, or look at some of our opponents to see what are they doing that works so well. And then obviously also assisting Glaive in calling some of the practice matches so that he can focus on his individual play.
So we arrive, the final half between Astralis and Vitality to top this group, to take that second spot.
Oh, earwax.
You saw it?
Yeah.
See, I'm sorry to bring it up for everybody else, but I didn't want to be the only guy who had to see that.
I wonder what that is, actually. It's like, it's just, it looked like
Maybe it's
something
his gum.
deep fried.
It's gum. He's saving it for later.
No, stop it.
You know, you just...
Stop it.
Everybody does that, right?
Charbroiled snooze? Yeah. I don't know. 69. Giggity, giggity. All right, let's get it on.
Let's go. Let's see what can happen. It felt like Astralis' first half was going to be a bit more flat than that, but they really brought it back in the end. And for that reason, I look forward to seeing what they're made of. Bubsky, 2 headshots here inside of the tunnels, and Team Vitality pump the brakes.
You see this instant push out long, and this is the key moment.
Yes.
And now they know it's going to be running back, so this information will be corroborated as well. There's no B-hit tag coming on, but Lucky, you can play it as slow as you want. And he's going to sneak into a tricky position. He did it quickly, so we'll see if they clear him out. But they are going to be looking, I think.
Oh, he gets it. Man, what a tough shot, man. Kyojin's like jumping downwards, kind of spinning on a swivel. Still, props to Lucky. He gets what he needs, right? Continue to cut down the numbers. But we know that Masuda is the king of 3 kills.
Damn, that's so tricky. You see, Zipex actually goes behind the long door as well after the push out from Lucky.
Ooh, 3 is his magic number.
Hold on a second.
You should know better.
You know, look at the utility. He's a utility guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Double flash Molotov.
All right. What can you do? What have you got for us?
Oh,
Jesus. All right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, Zipex. Delete. These were nice.
No error there. Yeah, it was the correct push here from Astralis as they're setting up. Again, you're trying to do that. As soon as they're coming in the tunnels, you want to really just get in their face. Like, you don't want to be sitting in the site where their nades go past and pop flash over. You want to just punish that tunnels push. That was beautiful. And the great thing about that as well is, like, if they don't come tunnels, you get tunnels control. If you find out that they're long, this seems to be like a very common thing to do on CT sides. That so many people are just taking long control on these pistols as well. Bubsky with a barrage of bullets through the mid doors as he sees a fair few targets.
Ooh, okay. Sometimes that's a dangerous game, right? All it takes that one deagle. Once they start layering above one another on the box. Oh, but Bubsky tearing them limb from limb, beating them over the head with them. Severed feet left, right, and center. Magisk, 2 kills to close it on the MP9, make a little bit of money.
This game is very close now. Just because that pistol, the conversions here, look like Vitality were doing excellently coming out of that first half, but with a couple of rounds that Astralis were able to scrape in at the end, it's now extremely competitive. Perfect.
Perfect. We got to play more fighting games.
Yes.
But for now, we focus on this fight between some of Europe's best. Oh my.
Wow.
God, dude. Somebody's been watching Masuda demos. I'm telling you, it's like
ground yet.
Dude, all the players are like, oh, you think you're best with the FAMAS? Like, the FAMAS stonks are on the rise. Mm-hmm. And just like GameStop, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense, yeah.
Bubsky gonna be given support here. What? Oh my God, dude. Headshots galore. Lucky, he goes down, and it is just Dupree.
He has no time to throw even some regular nades.
What a spontaneous slaughter. And Shox is gonna one-tap to close.
Masuda is different sometimes, man. That was real quick. I need to see that. I need to see that 2K again. Because he just, like, switched it up quick, right? One in CT spawn, one off to the right. Pop, pop.
Pop, pop. Yeah. You've never made that community reference. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I forgot you watched it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of things, but from here and there.
It looks like Dupree will treat himself to a save FAMAS.
I've always felt like we kind of have Troy and Abed vibes.
I could see that, yeah. Me more so, I think.
Yeah.
I'm more like Troy.
Damn, Masuda. And then Zywoo right there. It's like as if Masuda wasn't like that on point in that moment, but who is it supporting over the shoulder? Zywoo. None of you had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So as quickly as they won the pistol, we have to go back and remember, right? We had the first 5 rounds. The first 5 rounds of this map, back and forth and back and forth. And when the dust settled, it was Vitality who threw that 6-round streak on the scoreboard. This is the 4th and final timeout from Astralis.
Again, I love how liberally they're using them. Of course, I mean, it takes away from the fact, like later on in this, this game could be very close and go on for a minute. But I actually love to see, how many attack pauses can be used this early. I just feel like that means you're thinking a lot, like you're really trying to get this bigger, greater game plan together and doing what it takes, and not just going on autopilot. Because every round is just important as the later rounds. We often chalk up games to how they finish, but these are the ones that get you there. So long controls, it's flirted with, but it's denied. I think Vitality had all the ultra good spawns, couldn't sneak anyone out to blue. And here, at the very least, I think it's always good practice to fake that you're coming out mid-doors whenever you see CT is taking long control, because you know that they can't be there too. So at least you draw someone back. It's very standard practice. There's not really good counterplay for the CTs in that regard, and they have to kind of slightly pay attention to it. So important to threaten it, even if to Astralis they're pretty sure you're faking it. Cost you $200 on that flash. In the real world, that's a lot, but in CS, that's pennies.
Chump change.
Chump change. There are a lot of people on the right side of the smoke, and that's the #1 thing we need to pay attention to right here. If Vitality do commit off Cat, which they won't necessarily, but they might, then this is going to be the hardest possible round. They drop in a CT spot, and they are going to commit up. But they also get the kill on Magisk and melt down every CT on the site.
It's only going to be Lucky. Down to 70 health. That op trying to retreat back around the corner. But even if he gets into the doors, Shox has arrived in time. And Lucky's not ready for this one.
I have to wonder if there was some kind of mistake
Or is he?
there.
Okay, bud. Okay.
He just tries to helicopter over.
Swah, 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 swah.
I have to wonder if there's some kind of mistake there, because obviously, we'll call them Freiburg drops, because that's what they are.
Okay.
Are really common, and people have been doing them for years, right? And sometimes they turn into mid-Bs, because that's the best way to mid-B, is to Freiburg drop with the deep CT smoke, make it look like a cat exec, and then run out mid-doors and know that no one in CT spawn is spamming your smoke or shooting over top of the smoke while you get to the window. And in this situation, Magisk was boosted up, waiting for the mid-B, but had 3 people on the A site to not only help watch that drop, which should have been an instant punish, but also deal with the players crossing. They failed on the front of catching the players crossing, but I don't think anyone was even covering Magisk at all. So I don't know if he was expecting help there, or if they caught a timing. Maybe somebody had a nade out. But either way, not fun to lose a round like that, especially when you're so geared up to defend that half of the map.
And especially because if Magisk doesn't die there, if the drop gets punished, then suddenly I feel like Lucky has a bit more confidence to stick around, maybe claw player off at the elbow. But it like unraveled from the most critical point outwards. And this one leaves very little for Astralis to work with. A Desert Eagle for Dupree. Apex just took a dink. But no one follows up with the donk.
Yeah, it felt like he was spotted.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 instant kills, of course, as they round these corners versus the near nothingness that Astralis can offer us.
Put a bow on this quick.
What color would you like?
A rainbow.
Ooh.
So blue colored, like rain.
Good answer. Anybody got a show to offer? Where's Apex? Nice and safe, hopefully? Yeah, he's tucked all the way in T-spawn. That's like the one thing that could go wrong. But this is an easy 12th for Vitality, so don't forget, it was early success for Vitality in the first half as well. If Astralis have done anything today, it has proven to us that they should not be written off.
7-12 when they came back on Dust 2 versus Team Liquid.
Ding, ding, ding.
They take that deep breath here. Magisk takes that deep breath, knowing he's got a long road back. They've just done this 2 million times. So, we're all going to see what they have to offer, but they are definitely prepared to be in it for the long haul at this point. We're all at the tail end of this final map. Goes a very pretty scoreline of 20-9.
Very clean. Slowed down a little bit, but I feel like they also started avoiding him on those long doors So excusable. Flashing into the tunnels works wonderfully. Astralis able to find that solo Shox play. The Vitality gonna waste no time. Very quickly working their way up Cat, and check this out. Bubsky, he's trying to throw himself at it. Instead, he throws himself out the window. Baby with the bathwater.
Masuda is an absolute assassin on these entries. That's another one up Cat, lightning quick. I mean, no chance to shoot back whatsoever. You have to, yeah. You have to actually pre-fire this guy. He's too quick.
Zip have an angle on this side?
This is a weird one. As long as they play anti, they should be fine. CTs are not welcome here. And there's a lot of incentive to go and save since they just lost that last round just to buy up now.
Yep.
It's not fun for them because of how quickly they got that opening kill. But the response was just as wicked. And Astralis did a good job of also not showing that there was 3 people pushing. They had the flasher, they had 2 there, but it was kind of unclear. Actually, maybe they did read that there was 3 with the flash, but they threw their own flash at the same time, so I'm not sure if they knew. But I think they just took it as a call to action. Like, we need to just make something happen, because that was too clean of a 5v4.
What about this Bubsky aggression? High risk, high reward?
I think this point, it's like, if I get there fast enough, or I set up on the corner, then I can wait for my team to flash. But it's more like I'm crediting Vitality. Like, this is a very fast transition into a decision. And I think that's what's been the hallmark right now of Apex's T-side calling. It's how quickly and coordinated the team can transition from one move to another. That's the hardest thing to keep up with. And that's what emphasizes the team aspect of this game, right? That's what's separating it. It's not the individual level of these players. It's the team aspect.
Shox flirting, as he does, with the corner of the tunnels. They say indecision kills, but it feels like that decisiveness from Vitality last round was just as lethal. Exchange of grenades holds things at bay for now. Minute 20 on the clock. And few chances for Astralis to get this game back tied up.
Well, you can see their intentions are known with this B tunnels pop coming up here. Bomb on the back of ZywOo. Smoke comes down. They get right in front of the smoke, and it's a huge punish. I mean, that Shox took a risk there. Didn't expect Dupree to be up top.
Okay. And we don't get one of those incredibly quick transitions.
The molly off Cat right in front of Masuda. So you can be as brave as you want, but you're going to take 80 damage if you want to.
He opts not to. Calculates and crunches those numbers. It's going to be the walkout through middle and another unexpected position versus Vitality. First over towards those boxes, and again here in mid, Magisk knows he can just keep his head tucked. These players are going to be fighting tooth and nail to try and get this bomb onto the site, and of course ZywOo just no-scopes Lucky through smoke. His name seemingly redundant. ZywOo in with a second. This is that kind of factor. ZywOo, he's got himself a third, and there's a challenge in from ramp, but Dupree's going to push, and he's going to stop that bomb.
Oh, why do you have to plant the bomb?
Ah, so close.
You knew he would ace if he didn't. That was a nasty refrag. You can see how long they're hanging out around this one smoke that lands on the fast Cat. It's just this giant one-way, basically. You have a huge advantage versus fighting anybody who's sitting on the ramp or in CT spawn. It's so critical when you're coming for those Cat attacks. You're still obviously favoring the CTs when they get these 2 kills this easily, but man, do they make that really competitive.
Okay.
Such a beautiful punish.
Oh, this third one too. I wish so badly that Kyojin had the bomb.
Yeah, or if he got that kill as 2v1, that would have been nasty. I have no idea what he could be talking about right now. Based on the events of that round,
yeah.
What would it be? It could only, to Shox maybe, that he ran out long. I have no idea.
Oh man, they're gonna go fast. Vitality trying to keep that pressure cranked to an 11. Dupree on the other side of the door, mirroring Shox's position. As long as what they wanted, it's what they got. But it comes with quite the heavy cost. Masuda down and Apex low already. ZywOo set to hold pit. And Astralis leaning away from the A site. If Shox gives up this kill, then suddenly Astralis have that Cat hold. But it's all about Shox right here, right now. And, of course, he shuts down Dupree. Splatters him on the double doors. Dodges the flash. Nice reposition. Just that slight adjustment to get himself a second. He's done his job. And Lucky just extended around the corner far enough for his hands to be ripped off. 1v3 for Magisk or a 14th for Vitality. Those are the two outcomes, and it begins with a quick headshot into the biggest of scalps. ZywOo taken out of this clutch situation.
Done clearing the site, one on the ramp. Apex really low, but that's the op over towards long. That nade could have made the difference to taking him out, but he doesn't know that the op has been picked up, and Magisk will approach quite hastily, but there's got to be no odds for him in this spot. Apex hits a great shot. 14-9 here for Vitality, knocking on the door of victory. Victory.
Really well played there from Kyojin as well, right? He was the one that was reeling in Magisk on the hook, and then Apex scoops him up with the net from a distance, but that's clean. That's the one that made this seem somewhat possible. And if only the player on site had offered something to Magisk, but he played it really well, just dodged the danger. Oh, of course!
Okay.
Of course!
All right.
Apex lands that headshot.
All right. It's like that.
Oh, that is salt in the wound. Masuda gonna punish the top mid push, and the scrambling CTs working with such minimal tools on this one. Bubsky, it's a nice attempt. A valiant effort with the MP9. 2 frags here towards the B site. This is the bomb carrier, and if Zip was able to get that crispy headshot, then there's a chance, grab a gun and finish in the 1v2. But instead, Vitality will have 6 map and match points.
Yeah, it is time to bring it home. It's a chill mood. It's a ridiculous kill to get started on match point, and that's an instant tilter. Through the smoke, off of timing, with a spray. Shox is singing. Shox is whistling. And yeah, I mean, now it's just the money's broken here for Astralis. It is time to attack for Vitality. Keep it coming. They're hanging out at mid, looking for a duel. But they're in the wrong part of town, and they don't have the right weapons.
Apex getting back some of that flair from Vertigo. Oof. Little scout shot, but you poke the beast. The beast bites back. Additionally, Magisk now knows there's a second target here towards Barrel, so the damage output's good. It's good enough to prime the other 3 players of Astralis to pick up some kills. But Vitality, they know they've got their foot on Astralis' neck.
Oh, Bubsy's close. He can't back up too much. ZywOo, he'll get a kill through the door onto Magisk.
Yeah.
That's 2 at mid. CTs are hanging out, as they should, but Bubsy will get punished. Looking all directions as Shox tries to figure out where his next target will be. Maybe in upper tunnels. No. Bubsy comes back.
Oh, man, he almost got caught with that bad time to reload. Instead, he's like, nah, this is mine, and he finds it. Remember, 2 players tagged up from Vitality, so this could be the final push of the first group here at Blast Ball season. ZywOo drops Bubsky and the bomb. Throws that task over to Kyojin. His hand's now busy. Jumping MP9. Zipix, it's desperate, and it's so damn close. But now it has revealed his hand, and with a sleight of hand, he should be swept away by ZywOo. Kyojin 30 health. After the aerial acrobatics, his back turned to what's going to be his end. You'd assume that AK should have him dead to rights. Zipix softened even further. ZywOo leaves. Wants to play as the insurance policy of their 16th round win. And folks, there it is. Kyojin closing as Vitality get the best of Astralis. But damn, were they tested.
It's an easy close of